Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Fire Red with only one Wingull was a fun but extremely hard solo run. Let's follow that up with my favorite Pokemon. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Gold with a team of only one Drowzee. So Drowzee is a solo psychic type with about the same base stats as a first form starter. It's got great special defense and a little bit more health than other first form psychic types, but that's about it. It actually has higher attack than special attack by a little bit, so that's pretty unique, although that won't really do us any favors in this generation. Other than being a special defense tank, these stats don't really do us any favors in general. By level up, we get Hypnosis, Confusion, and Psychic, but those are really the only decent moves that we get. I guess you could argue that Headbutt is alright since our attack is higher, but it's only slightly higher, so we're probably still going to do more damage with Confusion, thanks to the same type attack bonus. We also get Poison Gas, probably one of the most useless affliction moves ever. I mean, it's less accurate than Hypnosis, and all it does is regular poison. Who would ever use that? By TM, we do learn some cool stuff, though. What stands out to me here mostly is just that we can learn the Elemental Punches. They'll use our special attack stats since this is Gen 2, but they're still going to do an alright job. We can also learn Shadow Ball to deal with Psychic types. We don't learn anything crazy strong, but we could still get decent type coverage, so I think we stand a chance. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I think I'm gonna have to be a pretty high level before I could win this one. Special defense is our only great stat, so I'm not really expecting to be sweeping anything with Psychic. Red at the end might be really difficult. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Drowzee. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. Also, the reason I'm doing a Drowzee run is because it's my favorite Pokemon, and this video should be coming out right around my birthday. I think this video will come out on the 21st of September? My birthday is the 22nd, I'm turning 32 this year. Also, if I sound weird, it's because my nose is totally plugged up. Nah, I don't know why, life sucks. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chikorita with Drowzee so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Drowzee because it's my favorite Pokemon and I just kind of want to leave it as a Drowzee. So early game travel is pretty normal. We do have roughly the same stats as a first form starter after all. We don't really do that much damage with Pound, and that's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Personally, I could see the first gym being a problem though. We don't get Confusion until level 18, and I don't think we'll be that high of a level by the time we actually get to the gym leader. So we might just end up going down to some Mud Slaps ruining our accuracy before we can deal enough damage to actually take out his team. It's hard to say though. He does use really low leveled Pokemon, so it might not be a problem. I might have to rely on Hypnosis, but that's a little bit daunting, what with it having terrible accuracy. Only one way to find out. So I got to the gym leader at level 14 after clearing out every single pre-gym trainer, and it actually went pretty well. It's all thanks to him just using Gust, mind you. If he was smart and used Mud Slap a little bit, then we'd absolutely have lost and had to get more levels. Now I'm gonna need to get more levels for sure. We are only 4 levels away from learning Confusion, and I could really use a better attack than just Pound. Now that we're on the road again, I quickly started doing every fight I can. We have the Bug Gym coming up, and it's one of those gyms where it's either really easy or really hard. Well, I think it's going to be really hard this time. Fairy Cutter is dangerous in general, but this time we're actually using a Pokemon that it's super effective against. Not only that, but we don't have great defense. I figure that our best bet is just to put him to sleep early so that Fairy Cutter can't build power, but even the first hit is going to deal a lot, so I'll probably need to be a high level in general. That's even with good Hypnosis luck. Hey, at least Metapod and Kakuna won't be an issue. Part of me thinks that Disable is the way to go, but I worry that Scyther is still going to beat us with its other moves, so Hypnosis might really be the best choice. I'll try a bit and see what works. Actually, you know what? We'll probably do better against our rival. Let's do that fight first. Wow, so despite sweeping Ghastly and Zubat, we still almost lost. We got burned early in the fight, so we were taking extra damage, but we also confused him at the same time. If he didn't hit himself, I think we'd have lost that fight. If that almost took us out, how badly is the Bug Gym gonna go? So much to my surprise, this only took 2 tries. Metapod was obviously easy, but Scyther is a beast. If we let him build up Fairy Cutter, then we lose, so I disabled it on the first round to shut it down early. Quick Attack was still doing decent damage to us, but we crit a Confusion early on to do a lot more damage. We crit the second one too, but it would have taken it out even without the crit. All that was left was Kakuna, who is of course a one-shot with Confusion. I can't believe how well that went. So now that we're able to go to Goldenrod, we have access to a few new TMs. Drowzee can learn the elemental punches, but we probably don't want all of them. Fire Punch is only really useful at the Steel Gym in this game, and Thunder Punch is good, but I'd argue I want Ice Punch more, so I think I'm just taking that one. Ice Punch is going to be a lifesaver at the Pokemon Champion fight after all. That said, these TMs aren't that expensive, so I think I will take a Fire Punch one as well. I think I'll get one Fire Punch and one Ice Punch. I'll learn Fire Punch first, and then try and do the Steel Gym as early as I can, and then replace it with Ice Punch right after. Mind you, I don't think any of this is going to help us against Whitney at the normal gym, but we have Disable and Hypnosis, so at least we can shut down Rollout if we need to. I'm just hoping that she won't out-heal us with Milk Drink, but we'll see when we get there. So as expected, the normal gym took quite a few tries because she could absolutely out-heal us, and if Hypnosis is missing, then Rollout just takes us out quickly. I had a Quick Claw, so we were occasionally faster, but for the most part, Miltank was attacking first, so if she woke up with low health, she would simply heal with Milk Drink. On the third try, though, we actually took her out pretty easily just because she never woke up. 3 tries isn't bad. Let's keep moving. Well, with that done, I could go right on to the Ghost Gym, but I figure it's probably best that I do the Dance Hall first. Yeah, we're super effective against Morty's whole team, but he's actually super effective against us with Shadow Ball, and that's a physical move in this game, so it might actually really mess us up. I figure that it's probably best if I level up first. Well, I do. I'll give you some show updates in case you missed the last episode. I'll try and be quicker this time. I figure that doing the show updates and MDB AMA in the same episode last time was just too much non-Pokemon challenge in one Pokemon challenge. Didn't feel like it when I was doing the voiceover, but as soon as I was looking at it on the editing timeline, yeah, that AMA took too long. Well, first of all, the one you're probably most interested in if you're watching this is that I've started streaming Pokerogue. I'm 2 streams in so far, and I am absolutely loving it. It's this cool browser-based Pokemon fan game where you construct a team of starters and fight wave after wave of Pokemon. Everything that you catch along the way then becomes available to pick as starters on your next run after you black out. It's really cool. I do most of my streams over on Twitch, but all of my streams get uploaded on this YouTube channel after, so you don't miss it. My Twitch is linked in the description of all of my videos, by the way. It's totally free to watch me and follow me on Twitch. I get asked that a lot. In fact, if I'm premiering this and I'm in the chat right now, I might be streaming it right after this challenge. I've been doing that a lot lately. Anyway, Pokerogue is really cool, so I'm looking forward to streaming more of it. I've also gone back into streaming my old Fallout New Vegas playthrough. That's been really fun. We just did Vault 11. That was a crazy one. I go around and read all the terminals out loud and everything so you can learn like how that vault fell apart. I won't spoil. It's the election one. That's all you know going in. But people who know that one know that that's a real fun one. And of course I brought back Wrestling Empire because you guys demand it like every single week. For a year? Trust me, I never wanted to stop playing, I just got really busy. Skater Nate is riding again. Our contract ran out in this most recent episode and we got offered a new one. Was it good? Did we take it or did we ride off to another company? You gotta check it out to find out. I also started playing Lethal Company, which is like this co-op, I guess you'd call it a horror game? I don't know, it's this amazing mix between horror and situational comedy, where you're like with your friends going into randomly generated dungeons, I guess you would say. And it's all about communicating and trying not to get eaten by monsters while you're picking up loot. I don't know, it's really funny and really fun and sometimes a bit terrifying, and it's a really great time. All these playthroughs I'm talking about are in the playlist section of my channel, so you can easily find them and binge them if you want to. Thanks for checking them out. Now let's go take out Morty. Wow, the Ghost Gym was actually an easy first try. That's a good thing I went around fighting trainers first, because that's the only reason Gengar was a 2-shot, but still, this went great. Mind you, it's only because he missed with Hypnosis twice, but then again, it's Gen 2, so the AI's status affliction moves are a lot less accurate than in other generations. I think I'm going to replace my own Hypnosis with Shadow Ball at some point, maybe around when we get to the Elite Four to deal with Will. Shadow Ball is physical in this game, but Drowzee's attack and special attack are almost identical, so it shouldn't matter. In fact, our attack is often a little higher. It's just a really solid move for fighting psychic types. Alright, now that we're moving again, it's time for the fighting gym and the steel gym. Now, I figure the fighting gym is going to be really easy since we're psychic type, so I actually want to try the steel gym first for once. If we really wanted to, we could do the rocket hideout and then the ice gym first, since it's actually a lot easier than both the fighting and the steel gyms, but I'll see if I can save that for last. I want to go with the hardest one first, just to see what happens, and that means we're going after the steel gym. I figure that we can one-shot the Magnemites just fine, but I don't know how Steelix is gonna go. Normally Fire Punch wouldn't be great against it since Steelix has ridiculous defense, but this is Gen 2, so all fire moves are special instead. That gives me hope that we could take it down pretty quickly. I don't think it'll be a one-shot or anything, but if it's at least a 3-shot, then maybe we could put her to sleep or hope that Iron-Tail misses a little bit, then we could probably get a fast win. This might even be a first try. Let's find out. Okay, so the steel gym was a harrowing one. Right away, we lucked out with a crit on Magnemite to one-shot it. Normally, that wouldn't be a one-shot. Ask me how I know. It's because I lost this a bunch. The second Pokemon was another Magnemite, and we didn't get the one-shot, but at least this time she just missed Thunder Wave thanks to that Gen 2 status affliction mechanic, so it was still no problem. Steelix was really hitting us hard right away, and it wasn't looking like a 2-shot, but we lucked out, and the second Iron-Tail missed as we landed a burn. She healed back up with a Hyper Potion, but because of the burn damage, we were dealing a bit more damage than before. Our second hit after the heal didn't take her out, but thanks to the burn lowering her attack, she failed to take us out, and the burn finished her off. That was really close. After that is the fighting gym, and we haven't learned Psychic yet, so we weren't hitting as hard as I'd like. We actually nearly fainted thanks to Polygrath's dynamic punches hitting surprisingly hard, and us hitting ourselves in confusion, but in the end, it was still just a first try. That means we're on our way to the ice gym, then we have Radio Tower rival fight after that. I have to say, things are going pretty well. I had to stay really on top of fighting every trainer, and we had some close calls, but we're doing pretty well so far. The ice gym should be easy, but I don't think the rival fight will be too bad, but I'm not sure what to expect at the Dragon Gym. I doubt that we'll one-shot the Dragonairs, and I know we won't one-shot Kingdra. As soon as we're paralyzed, things are going to go downhill. I just hope that we level up a lot in Radio Tower. So the ice gym was easy, as usual, although I'm sure we'd have taken a lot more damage if Blizzard didn't miss. I've been holding on to Fire Punch for a while just in case it would be useful here, and it was, but I really don't think I need it anymore. I'm gonna ditch it for Ice Punch now, then go to the rival fight. Rival time. First is Golbat, who's of course just a one-shot with Psychic, but second is Sneasel, who crits a feint attack early to do a lot more damage than I was expecting. We still took it out pretty quickly, but we lost about a third of our health total. Third is Magnemite, and I'm already kicking myself for getting rid of Fire Punch because it would have been a one-shot for sure. Instead, we got paralyzed. Thankfully, Quick Claw kicked in, and we were able to headbutt it down before it could hit us again. Same thing happened against Haunter, so we were fine and one-shot it with Psychic. Last was Quilava, but it really wasn't doing much damage, so we took it out in a couple hits of Psychic. I'm really happy that our rival isn't very strong in this game, or that could have gone very badly. Alright, we're traveling to the last gym, and I've got to be honest, I really don't feel great about it. I'm fighting everything I can along the way, but I really don't think that we can sweep the Dragonairs. That means we're going to get paralyzed, and even with our Quick Claw to occasionally give us the first attack, we'll probably lose a lot of turns to paralysis over the course of the fight. Plus, there's a Kingdra at the end who's for sure going to take us out if we're already paralyzed. The only silver lining is that Surf wouldn't hurt us much thanks to the high special defense, but I don't think that we're even going to make it that far. I might have to grind until I can one-shot the Dragonairs with Ice Punch, but that's a daunting prospect on its own. Yeah, that's what I thought. We got paralyzed right away and things went downhill fast. Now, much to my surprise, we were hardly able to take out all the Dragonairs, but we didn't last long against Kingdra. I mean, he's got Hyper Beam. We can't really win that fight unless we have a solid amount of health left at the end. I think that I'm gonna have to grind for a little while until we can one-shot the Dragonairs, but that might take a while. All of our stats but our special defense are in the 70s, so not all that high. In fact, our special attack is only 71, the lowest of our stats. I'm just holding out hope that I could get the win below level 60, but I'm not really that confident. I figure they've gotta be one-shots by level 60, though. I also have a lot of money thanks to the amulet coin, so I'm gonna try and buy some vitamins. This is Gen 2, so I'm like 99% sure that we haven't maxed out our stat experience yet. Okay, so 2 levels later and I maxed out my stat experience with vitamins. Turns out we were really close on most of them. Although if I remember right, you can't fully max out your stat experience with vitamins in Gen 1 and 2. You can just get close or something. Look, stat experience is really hazy on how it works. It's weird. Anyway, the first Dragonair was a one-shot, so I thought we were in the clear, but as the second one came out and survived Ice Punch, I figured we were doomed. We got paralyzed, but finished it off. The third Dragonair ended up doing quite a bit of damage to us through slams before we finally got enough hits in to take it out, so we went into the Kingdra fight with half health. We got hit by a weak Dragon Breath, hit Psychic for about half of her health and damage, then got rocked by Hyper Beam to go to only 3 health. Our Psychic took her to a sliver, but because she was still recharging the next turn, she couldn't use a Hyper Potion. We lucked out as Paralysis didn't stop us from landing the finishing blow. That was actually perfect. I gotta say, I love how this run is going. Yeah, I've had to fight a lot of trainers, but I've hardly had to grind on wild Pokemon, so it's not so bad. Our stat experience is maxed out, or at least as much as we can with vitamins, reasonably early, so we don't need to worry much about grinding anymore, since rare candies would be just as good, and a lot of the gym fights have been really interesting to do. I swear, it's the luck of Drowzee being my favorite Pokemon. All we have between us and the Elite Four is one last rival fight, and it doesn't tend to be that hard. I even feel pretty good about the Elite Four itself. I can learn Shadow Ball for Will, we have Psychic and Ice Punch for Koga and Bruno, and although Karen is Dark-type, she doesn't tend to be too brutal in these runs. Plus, most of Lance's team is weak to Ice Punch. I feel good about this. Let's go take out our rival. Wow, I knew the rival would be easy, but I didn't think it would be this easy. Between Sneasel flinching, Magneton missing Sonic Boom and Thunder Wave, and Typhlosion just using Smokescreen, we did the entire fight without taking a single hit. That went great. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, our stats aren't exactly awesome, but we're only level 58, so I guess that makes sense. I'm loving the special defense, but either than that, we're not too amazing. Because of type advantages, I think that we can at least make it to Karen, but I'd be shocked if we could actually beat the Elite Four at this level. You never know though, sometimes those Gen 2 status affliction misses can really save us. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Psychic Trainer Will. Right away, I start with Ice Punch against Xatu as it confuses us with Confuse Ray. We were fine though, we didn't hit ourselves, so he went down fast. Next is the second one, and although it wasn't doing much with Psychic, we got hit a few times and actually had our special defense drop before taking it out. Jinx was just a one-shot with Shadow Ball thanks to it being physical and her being frail, and second from last was Executor, who got us with Leech Seed before we took him out in 2 hits. Last was Slowbro, and I was worried that we couldn't get the 2-shot because of Leech Seed, but we actually managed to get it. That was super close. Awesome win, though. Second is Poison Trainer Koga. Wow, I knew this would be easy, but I didn't think we'd only get hit once. Shift from Fortress was the only thing to get us. Now that is an easy win. Third is Fighting Trainer Bruno. Yeah, once again, we hardly took any damage at all. I'm sure that's no surprise, though. I mean, we're super effective against his entire team. They were so desperate to get any damage in on us that they used a Mach Punch on a Psychic type. No problem at all. Fourth is Dark Trainer Karen. Right away, Umbreon was pretty tanky, so it takes 3 headbutts to take down, and that's with 2 critical hits. So we ended up taking a big amount of damage from feint attacks. Murkrow was a one-shot with Ice Punch, but after that was Houndoom, and it's faster than us, and hit incredibly hard with Crunch, so we went down pretty quickly. Yeah, I figured this will be a hard one. Let's use some rare candies. I think we can do this below level 70. Level 65, and this was crazy. Right away, Umbreon misses a Sand Attack, and we flinched it on the second turn with a Headbutt, followed by it hitting a Confuse Ray that didn't stop us, so we took no damage at the start. Murkrow is of course still a one-shot, this time Houndoom still outsped us and hit hard with Crunch, but on the second turn, our Quick Claw kicked in, so we went first, not only landing a Headbutt, but also making her flinch. She used a Max Potion, but this time 2 Headbutts knocked her out, so she only got 1 more Crunch in. It brought us to red health though. Second from last was Gengar, who was just a one-shot with Psychic, and last is Vileplume, who was also a one-shot with Psychic. Well, we're actually at Lance below level 70. Finally, Pokemon Champion Lance. First up is Water Onix, who makes it rain for no reason, considering he was just using Hyper Beam after. We took him out fast, but we lost a good quarter of our health in the process. Second was the first Dragonite, who is of course a one-shot with Ice Punch, and after that was another Dragonite, who is also a one-shot. After that is Aerodactyl, and we did great damage with Ice Punch, but he got a Rock Slide in to take out a good chunk of our health. We took him out, but we're in yellow now. Charizard was a two-shot with Psychic, but it landed a Slash, so we're on really low health. One big move and we could go down. Last is his final Dragonite though, and despite it being a higher level, it was still just a one-shot with Ice Punch, giving us the win. With that victory, we get in the Hall of Fame and win the run, but you know it's not over yet. Gen 2 has all of Kanto in the post-game, including 8 gym battles and a secret final boss fight with Red. 7 of those 8 gym battles are super easy since they're weaker than the Elite Four, so we're gonna go ahead and skip straight to the next real challenge, Blue. I made sure to pick up leftovers on my way. I figure it's gotta be more useful than just a quick claw. Let's see how it goes. First up is Pidgeot, who was a two-shot with Ice Punch, as it hardly hurt us with Wing Attack. Man, I love leftovers. They almost fully healed us back up. Next is Alakazam, who put up a Reflect right away, so it actually survived our Shadow Ball. He tried using a Recover, but we were doing more damage than he was healing, so although he kept spamming it, it just meant that he never hit us. We even fully healed back up with the leftovers in the process. Rhydon was almost a one-shot with Ice Punch, but he started a Sandstorm. Now, if I remember right, Sandstorms do a lot more damage in Gen 2 than in later gens, so he's basically undoing our leftovers. He still went down pretty easy, though. Water Onix came out, so we were just going straight for Psychic. It hit us pretty hard, and I thought we were going to get a two-shot thanks to the Sandstorm, but we didn't. So we ended up eating a huge Hyper Beam before taking him out. Executor missed Egg Bomb, so we just took it out with a couple of Ice Punches, no problem. And last was Arcanine, who was faster than us, and hitting really hard with Flamethrower, bringing us to just above red health before we took him out with Psychic. That was pretty close. Alright, so we may have beaten Blue, but I'm skeptical about Red. All we really have going for us right now is that we can tank a lot of special attacks between our special defense, health, and leftovers. That said, Red's team is much stronger than us. Not only am I worried that I won't be able to two-shot the vast majority of his team, but we're probably going to get stalled out by Snorlax for ages thanks to his rest. I can't even think of how we're going to beat it unless we freeze it, since Freeze is still pretty strong in Gen 2. Not quite Gen 1 strong, but strong. Plus, we're slow, so I think that there's a decent chance that half his team is going to be faster than us no matter what level we're at. I'm thinking we just need to go in there, try the fight a bunch, then use a bunch of rare candies to level up by about 5 levels every time it's obviously not winnable. I'm not even convinced we can do this at level 100, but there's only one way to find out. So, I got to Red at level 74. Pikachu missed Charm on the first round and hit Thunder on the second, so we managed to take him out without getting hurt too badly. Second was Espeon, who was hitting surprisingly hard with Psychic, as we were just rocking it with Shadow Ball. I have to say, being slower than them is making it really hard. We took a ton of damage before we got the knockout. Third was Snorlax, but we hardly did anything with Psychic and went down to a Body Slam. Okay, did you see how we did almost nothing? I'm gonna jump all the way up to level 80. I don't think we stand a chance at anything lower. Level 80, we lose attack right away to Charm, but we still get our two-shot, so we only got hit by Thunder once. Thanks to the Charm, though, it made us do a lot less damage with Shadow Ball against Espeon. We still took it out with more health left than last time, though. Next is Snorlax, though, and despite being a whole 6 levels higher than last time, we did maybe a sliver more damage than last time, and went down to 1 Body Slam. Oh, this is gonna be a real issue, isn't it? This could be one of those fights where I hit level 100 and still can't win without crits or status afflictions. Level 85, we still lose attack to Charm, but this time we sometimes get a one-shot, so after heals, we just one-shot him. Espeon uses Reflect now, so we have a brutally slow time taking it out with Ice Punches, but eventually we take it out. Thanks to a special defense drop from Psychic, though, we're taking more damage. As Snorlax came out, we crit Psychic to do decent damage, but then he used Amnesia, so special moves are going to be next to useless. I tried Headbutt just to not do much, and I was clearly going to faint, so I switched to Ice Punch on the off chance that we'd freeze, but I had no such luck. This is gonna be a nightmare fight, I know it. Level 90. Yeah, things went almost the exact same as last time. I guess we got to Snorlax with a bit more health, so we had more chances to use Ice Punch, but it's not like we got a single freeze. We still went down easily. We laid in tons of hits and only took him to just above half health. Considering he has rest, he could have healed at any moment. Level 95. It doesn't matter, we're still slower than both Pikachu and Espeon, and even though we did get to Snorlax with almost full health, it's just a disaster every time. On my best attempt, I did even less damage than at level 90, so I think it's safe to say we gotta be level 100. Here's our stats at level 100, by the way. Our special defense is insane, and I guess our other stats are okay, but I have no idea how we're gonna beat Snorlax at this rate. Literally, the only thing I can think of is either getting insane luck with Headbutt flinches, or maybe replacing Headbutt with Dynamic Punch, and just getting some awesome confusion and hit luck. But even then, we have to hope Espeon doesn't use Reflect, and it seems to use it every single time now. I really don't want to give up, but I don't know how I'm supposed to win this. At level 100, we're still slower than both Pikachu and Espeon, but at least we get past them without taking a ton of damage or losing any attack. Against Snorlax, it uses Amnesia early, but he still had Reflect up, so I kept using Ice Punch to try and freeze it, but I was having no luck. One crit for decent damage at least. We kept getting body slammed over and over, so the moment Reflect went down, I switched to Headbutt. We brought him one hit from fainting when he suddenly crit a body slam to knock us out. Oh, that is tragic. I think I literally have to keep trying until I freeze him. It's a 10% chance of freezing in Gen 2, and it has a 9.8% chance that he thaws every turn. Surely if I can just freeze him, we can get past him. Okay, a couple tries later, and we didn't get hit by Charm, and Espeon used Psychic instead of Reflect, so we didn't have to worry about that. He was using Amnesia early, but I already tried Headbutt spam with no luck, so I just kept going with Ice Punch. For once, though, it actually worked, and we got a freeze. We even crit a Headbutt right after for huge damage, so we managed to get around the fear of a full restore and just took him out in a few hits. We may actually stand a chance. Next is Charizard, and is faster than us, so I just tanked a Flamethrower and went straight for Psychic, taking out a bit more than half of his health and getting a special defense drop. His second Flamethrower took us to yellow health as we took him out. Second from last is Blastoise, so I kept using Psychic as he made it rain. We nearly got a two-shot, but he landed in red health and hit a big Surf. We finished him off, but we're really hurt. Last is Venusaur though, and thanks to the type advantage, he went all the way to red health off one Psychic. I figured he'd use a full restore to heal back up, but his Giga Drain brought him back to yellow health, so we just hit one last Psychic to take him out on the next turn, finally finishing this never-ending war with red. Well, that got brutally hard by the end, but overall it actually went pretty well. I got that one done a lot faster than in a lot of runs, once again confirming that Drowzee is just my lucky Pokemon. I've really got to use it in more generations. I bet it would be super fun in Gen 5. It's got a massive move list in that game. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge will be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with Pokemon Sapphire with only version exclusives. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Time for the outro. I guess I don't really have any medical updates to give you, considering I haven't had, like, any appointments or anything between the last voiceover and this voiceover. So, streaming updates? Oh no, I already gave you guys streaming updates. Man, I don't really have much to talk about. I just need to get ready for another one of those Lethal Company streams. Oh, those have been really fun. Now, mind you, I say another Lethal Company stream. The Lethal Company stream I'm talking about right now is already up on the YouTube channel when you're watching this, because you'll be watching this, September 21st or sometime past that. But today is actually September 12th, because that's when I'm recording this voiceover. Although I won't be editing it until later in the week, and then it doesn't go up until like a week after that, because that's, you know, how the production flow is. You know the drill. You've probably heard me talk about this in old videos before. Anyway, my neck has been really rough lately. So I kind of don't want horrible nerve problems during this. I was streaming some Streets of Rogue with Truth the other day, and that was really fun, but I could only do like a 2-hour stream because my neck was killing me by the end. So I have 2 hours before my stream starts. I need to go get a good meal in me. I need to stretch out. I need to walk a bunch, probably get a little bit of a snack as well, maybe fill up my teacup. I'm having some, just some decaf Earl Grey, the Tetley, I think. Just a super cheapo brand. It's okay stuff. Not exactly my favorite, but I like having just some cheap decaf tea sometimes. I got some honey in it, coat my throat, you know? I sounded a little hoarse at the beginning of this, so partway through I got a bunch of water and got some tea with some honey, and that's been helping a little bit. Anyway, I gotta go get that stuff going. Gonna make some egg fried rice. That sounds delicious. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.